For now at least, it seemed like just another night in the Frost house. Kirk and Rasheeda, who are well known for their entrepreneurial spirit, have been making an effort to maintain their marriage by juggling their professional and personal commitments. However, as the two navigated the wild and glamorous world of reality television, there were simmering whispers about Rasheeda's growing discontent and Kirk's loyalty beyond the surface problems. Kirk and Rasheeda Buckner-Frost have had a greater influence on viewers than most couples. There has been drama, love, betrayal, and ambition along their journey through hip-hop, love, and ambition. However, recent events have stunned their fan base, turning their once-envied relationship into a newsworthy controversy. Sadly, this was real life, even though the incident would have made for compelling entertainment. The more the evening wore on, the more strong the mood. Initially a discussion about common home issues, it quickly turned into a furious fight with raised voices and profanity. The neighbors were alarmed by the loudness and reported a domestic disturbance to 911. When the police arrived at the Frost home, there was tension in the air. After a brief assessment of the situation and after consulting with both sides, the police made the decision to arrest Kirk. Rasheeda had been crying a lot, and her eyes were red and swollen. The announcement immediately caused shock, wonder, and fear in those who had followed the couple through their highs and lows on social media. And Downs had to come to terms with the fact that their beloved partner was now involved in such a grave situation. Rasheeda ignited the flames with an intense Instagram post. "I never imagined I would have to deal with this. I should be respected and protected." As the narrative developed, it became evident that this was more than just an angry outburst. Rather, it was the result of more serious problems that had been plaguing their relationship for years. There was an image of her in the story that represented both her fragility and strength. Days following the fallout, insiders in the entertainment business conjectured about the toll reality television stardom can take on private life, creating a powder-keg of emotions waiting for the right ignite. The pressure to appear perfect when dealing with internal issues can lead to an explosive mixture of emotions. Even though they didn't agree, some united to support Rasheeda and urged her to put her safety first. Some fans showed their support for Kirk and pleaded for sympathy and understanding, pointing out that we have witnessed them endure a great deal, while others denounced the tension that was evident in both online and offline settings. For assistance in her quest for comprehension and recovery, Rasheeda resorted to her close friends and family. Every romantic holiday they had spent together appeared to have been laced with a moment of betrayal or disappointment, and she thought back on her marriage and its advantages and disadvantages. Even though the camera saw their lives as black and white, the truth was much more complex. Kirk had to cope with the implications of his conduct, the true state of his marriage, and the legal fallout from the occurrence before his court date. While preparing for his court appearance, he expressed his anguish and bewilderment by saying, "I love Rasheeda, and I want to make things right." But the road to reconciliation was anything but clear. There were growing concerns about whether Kirk would take responsibility for his actions and whether Rasheeda would choose to continue with him as the day of the court hearing drew near. Even with the increased stakes, the drama was right out of the most compelling episodes of Love and Hip Hop. Rasheeda was determined to put her children's and her own health first. Her close friends stated she was thinking through her options and picturing life without Kirk, greater as they were aware of what would occur. Their narrative ends with a caution on the intricacies of human relationships and love faithfulness. As the tale of Kirk and Rasheeda has come to represent, real lives are in danger beneath the glitz and glamour of reality television. Though the future remained unclear, Frost's voyage was guaranteed. In his luxurious studio, Kirk Frost leaned against the polished countertop as he prepared to reveal a shocking truth that had shook the entertainment industry. His expression was a mixture of simmering fury and bewilderment as the weight of his revelation hung heavy in the air. Rasheeda, his former partner and ex-wife, was charged with stealing $9 million from their joint companies. "This is not hearsay. This is a reality with which I've been grappling for far too long." Speaking gently and perhaps impassionedly, Kirk started out, that she had been siphoning off our money seemed like a complex betrayal, especially since I trusted her. The previously collaborative and innovative core of the studio has become more akin to a battleground. Kirk experienced a pang of regret and nostalgia for their early days spent together. They turned their aspirations into a well-known brand that expanded into lifestyle and fashion by working together to build a profitable music business empire. At least Kirk thought that their success was a result of their mutual respect and hard work, but as the company expanded, so did the challenges. Kirk shook his head and continued, "I thought it was just mismanagement or accounting errors," as the memories came rushing back. However, I started looking into it more after noticing small and initially but noticeable changes in their financial status. It was as if I was witnessing the collapse of a house of cards when I came across records of transfers that made no sense. Things only became worse when he made the decision to have a forensic accountant go over the accounts. It was a gut punch when the report finally arrived. Data revealed forbidden withdrawals and hidden actions that directly linked Rasheeda, painting a disconcerting image of betrayal. He uttered barely a whisper, saying, "Devastating to see those statistics. Differing opinions on commercial matters is one thing, but this was outright theft." As Kirk awaited the results, his sense of dread grew with each passing day. His pulse was pounding. My mood wasn't the best, the data on the report shone, and Kirk recalled the moment the accountant gave it to him. An emblem of false faith and crushed aspirations. The public devoured every detail of the couple's stormy past, which was full of passion, love, and conflict, as social media erupted with the Kirk v. Rasheeda trend. Kirk and Rasheeda's admirers and supporters reacted with shock and dismay. I had given everything I had to start our company, so finding out that the person I trusted the most was con artist was a nightmare from which I would never fully awaken. As the tension built, Kirk took a moment to consider their relationship and the highs and lows they had experienced together over the years. "I never thought it would come to this. It feels like I'm losing not just a business partner, but someone who was once my best friend," replied Kirk. Rasheeda kept her mouth shut. It merely fueled conjecture. As he sat in the studio surrounded by remnants of their former common aspirations, Kirk let out his wrath and exclaimed, "I want answers. She ought to tell me why she did what she did and how she thought she could get away with it. We put this together. Money is not the main consideration." Kirk was determined to recover what had been lost, so he started looking into his legal options. He felt obliged to intervene since the loss concerned more than just money. It involved honesty and respect. "I have shed blood, sweat, and tears to build this empire, and I will not allow it to be taken from me." Organizing his next move and getting legal advice, this revelation would surely have a devastating effect on both of their personal and professional lives, and there might even be legal ramifications. How will handling this by Kirk impact their relationship with supporters? Buckner-Frost exposed Rasheeda's alleged betrayal, which cleared the path for an explosive story that would captivate audiences. Rasheeda endured stormy waves. Beneath their outward personas of glitz and grandeur lay a complex web of emotions, hurt, betrayal, and the unsolved mystery of how love could become so sour. He used his insight to empower himself for the battle that lay ahead. A renewed sense of purpose. "I owe it to myself and to our legacy to see this through," he added. Kirk said that he wouldn't back down despite criticism and reassurances from friends and supporters that he wasn't fighting this war alone, and that responsibility was ultimately what determined the outcome. Put an end to everyone's viewing. Kirk recognized that the storm was coming and he had to get ready. That ultimately the situation with the conflict between love and betrayal would take unexpected turns, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats to watch how this exciting chapter would end. But one thing was certain despite the uncertainties of the future. Kirk felt the swelling tide of betrayal and fury washed over him with every step as he made his way across the poorly lighted living room. Rasheeda's revelation had overtaken him to such an extent that he could barely speak above a whisper. "You really did it," he murmured in a gruff, choked voice. "You cheated on me." With a defiant expression on her face, Rasheeda stood with her arms crossed. You believe that you are the only one who enjoys themselves occasionally, Kirk. I came here to find fault, not to place blame. Anger and confusion seeped into his heart. If anyone else knew, I did. Did you actually? I suppose I should just give up and move on from it. You get to ask me questions, but you've had your share of late nights and whisper talks. Do you really think I would turn it all away? She crept closer, an evil twinkle in her eyes. You left a negative impact on me, even though I felt like we were creating something real. Having grumbled, Kirk said, "Well, welcome to the club." Her breathing picked up speed. It is not about exacting revenge, but rather defending myself. Her tone faltered, her haughtiness quivering just enough to reveal to him the pain behind the fury. This is getting to be too much for me to bear. He ran a hand through his hair, crushed at the betrayal. Now you have a reason to justify yourself. You thought that all it would take to win was to simply cheat back. His voice calmed as he tried to keep his cool. I moved forward, hoping that you could change. One that gets trampled upon, so why didn't he simply inform me? Why didn't he challenge me about my actions? I never wanted that. I thought we were in this together. He added, realizing that her spark had flickered out of her eyes. To tell the truth, I couldn't have waited for you to decide. You took away my worth. When combined, are you suggesting that I wanted to be the one to tell the lie? I felt invisible to you, and it was like striking a brick wall every time I tried to communicate to you. I thought I had no other option. Rasheeda nodded, tears dancing across the corners of her eyes. As the weight of her words registered, Kirk drew in a deep breath and his demeanor softened. I didn't know that by keeping things light, I was attempting to keep you safe. Tell us lies so we can stay afloat. He moved forward one more step, his rage concealing his weakness. She shot back, but her tone had softened. And quiet half-truths cannot strengthen a bond. I apologize. I mistakenly believed that I could handle things on my own. I didn't mean to offend you. At this moment, tell me what you desire. Kurt, she asked, almost whispering, what do you want from us now?